Let's add some extended functionality to our application. We're going to add some messages that inform the user of the success of the download or its failure, and will also enable the user to explore their hard drive using a Save As dialog and be able to specify the file name that way instead of typing it manually in our QLine edit. Let's do the easiest part first, and that's add the information message when the download finishes. Qt is kind enough to provide us with a very simple function to display a message. So if I scroll down to where our download method is, and once the file is downloaded, I can just do qMessageBox.information, pass some arguments that I'll discuss in just a second. Now let's analyze this function call a little bit. The self parameter here is the parent Q widget. Now, we haven't really mentioned parent context before, and it's not really relevant for an introductory level course. Just be sure to put self here for now. The second argument, information in this case, is the title of the message box. And finally, the third argument is the contents of the message itself, which in our case includes some static text. While we're at it, it would probably be a good idea for us to reset the application to its default state. Meaning, let's reset the progress bar back to 0 and remove the text on the QLine edits. It's very easy to do that. Let's call self.progress.setValue 0, just like in our constructor method. Self.url.setText. This is a method that is used to set the text for a QLine edit, and we'll do the same for our save location. And with this, we've kind of reset our application to its starting point. Before we test the application, let's create some exception handling as well. From looking at the code, it seems that this line is most likely the one that will cause an exception. For example, when a server returns a 404 error, meaning it can't find the file. We'll wrap this with a try and except block, like so. And this is a broad exception clause. And in our exception, we want to also display a message on the screen, but in this case, we want it to be an error message or a warning message. We'll just say qMessageBox.warning, pass very similar parameters to below. Title in this case should be warning, and let's say did download failed. We also need to return here so that the rest of the code in this method is not executed. Alternatively, we could also put this code block within the try clause, but I kind of prefer keeping my try and except blocks short and sweet. Now let's test the application and see if it works the way we told it to. If I put in the same URL as in the previous video, and I'm going to still put the d/test.bin, hit the download and wait a little bit. You can see that we have our information message pop up with the information as the title. The download is complete as our message text. And notice that even though we haven't written any code for our OK button or our information icon here, the Qt handled it automatically, knowing that it's an information message. If I close this dialog, you see that the application has reset itself to kind of default state. But let me put the d/test.bin here again and put some random URL here, hit download. The exception has been raised, and a warning message pops up with a warning triangle here and the download fail message contents. Of course, you could add some more validation and error handling, such as not allow the user to proceed if any of these QLine edits here are empty, but those are out of scope for this video.